And we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to match 10, UW Stevens Point versus UW-Whitewater, the Battle for Wisconsin playoffs
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah, we're in the second match of the day. We're in the losers bracket. The winner of this gets to go on and play MSOE for the chance to play in the losers finals. And
Indeed.
yeah, I'm interested to see. Yeah, and here's the bracket. Stout with the reverse sweep happening to them, and
Yeah.
MSOE taking it.
Yep, it
So
was unfortunate to watch, but MSOE came out on top.
yeah, and the winner of this is actually going to play right after this, actually. So it goes match 10, match 11. So I don't know. Do you think that's like a good thing or a bad thing? Like maybe you have momentum going into the MSOE match,
I think it's a
or
horse
you think you get
apiece,
a little
really.
tired?
I think it's a
Okay.
horse apiece. It'll be a little tiring for the winner of this match for sure. But
Right.
they will also have more momentum. MSOE having a little bit of downtime before their next match. I think it'll be it'll be interesting to watch for sure.
Right.
Could
And
go
then of
could go
course
either way.
after that match is Carthage versus Madison, which is what I think probably like the most anticipated match of the day and maybe even the
Oh,
tournament.
of
That's the
course,
2
Madison.
undefeated teams going
Yep,
against each other.
yep,
Carthage with
Madison and
that,
Carthage.
yeah, insane ball comp, and Madison just playing whatever and just dominating.
Just being unstoppable, untouchable.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what
Absolutely.
happens later today.
Yep, very exciting matches today.
Now
And
looking at
here,
the Stevens Point roster, we got a lot of support players. I said this last time I casted them. Um,
more supports than any one team needs, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, we have the same problem at Milwaukee. We have a bunch of support players and not enough
Fair.
everything else, but I think person to keep an eye out on their tracer player, which is that XWAS or is that Fear? I forgot. It's one of those two. Keep an eye out on their tracer player. Look for the big impact plays.
Lots of
And
and looking here at Whitewater, but a lot more balanced than in terms of
yeah,
role differentiation.
still four supports, but doesn't hurt.
Does not very very exciting to see what these what tanks they pull out for sure. Tanks seem to be the deciding factor in the
A lot of
recent meta.
Orisa.
Lot of Orisa.
Yeah, a lot of Orisa gameplay, which not the best in my opinion. I don't think Orisa gameplay is the most fun thing to watch or play, but
Orisa snore.
it could be worse, I guess.
It could be. Could be Hog.
Could be Malgameta still, which I thought was worse,
Could.
but I don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
I'm wrong there.
I can understand as a support player.
Yeah,
And
it's just I don't know.
here we got the map pool. Starting out on Busan today.
Yep.
Certainly a map of all time, in my opinion.
I like Busan. I think um it has a lot of like variety in it. Like the inside like mecha base that's like very rush oriented, and then like the downtown is more like a dive oriented map. You could still play rush on downtown, of course,
Yeah.
but I kind of like the variety that Busan has. I also like the atmosphere of the rainy map. I feel like I don't know. I
Uh,
like the rainy maps.
that's fair. That's fair.
Very cozy.
I don't know. It's just very. It's a very mid map, in my opinion, but to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like control maps in general are one of my favorite like game modes. I really like
I
control.
can. That makes sense.
So like all the maps I'm pretty high on. I don't really like Antarctic that much, but
Yeah. Yeah.
uh
Antarctic and Busan are probably my two least favorite control maps.
looking at escort, I think whoever wins this, like, we mostly seen Rialto. We've seen a lot of Rialto, I guess. Other than that,
Yeah.
we've been saying a lot of Circuit, but, like, I don't know, I think the Orisa comp is just, like, so comfortable for a lot of these teams that maybe
Mhm.
Circuit's, like, too much of a gamble to go to, depending if they're, like,
Maybe.
trying to play rush. Like when you saw last map or last match, MSOE went to, Rialto because I feel like that's
Mhm.
better for the Orisa comp, but
Yeah. I could also see the map being a pick to counter a specific comp as well.
mhm,
If one of these teams feels like the other team is being too oppressive, switch it up a bit, maybe throw in some poke on circuit.
right, and then you could just go to Gibraltar for a dive comp, so
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
now
of
that I think
course.
about it, pretty diverse map pool for Escort, like, you could basically choose what comp you wanna play. If you wanna play the poke, go Circuit. You wanna play dive,
Mhm.
you could go, Watch Point, and then if you wanna play rush, probably just play Rialto and
Yeah. And the the good thing about all these control maps is that they're also for it's all such a variety of maps that you can play
yeah.
basically anything on anything.
Yeah, I mean, look at Carthage once again with their ball comp. They played ball on every type of map, so
Yeah.
and it worked out for them. So,
Yep. Indeed. Indeed. So
um,
we're all still expecting the Orisa comp.
yeah, I mean, definitely if it starts out on mecha base, the only uh, I would see maybe variety on downtown, and then what's the last one? Shrine,
I call it
something like
drum.
that. Drum. I I
The one with the
I
big drum in
think it
the
might be
middle.
Shrine, but yeah, that map probably Orisa too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Both these teams, I'm pretty sure both these teams are pretty Orisa heavy. I may be wrong about that. I don't think I watched the Whitewater game, so I'm not sure. But I don't know if anything special is gonna come out here. I don't know if we're gonna get a venture. Like maybe even the DPS are different.
We've seen a few ventures. We've seen a few
Sombra,
ventures here and out.
like shaking it up a little bit, or are we just gonna go like
Yeah.
full brawl with the Orisa or with the Reaper, or
Looks like
like a little
Stevens
more of a
Point.
poke
Looks like Stevens
with
Point
yeah.
going full brawl here. Whitewater going full dive.
Yeah, like I said, this is I'm guessing we're playing on downtown because the camera's out here, so that would make more sense. Oh no, we're in Mecha Base actually.
Mecha
'Cause that's
base.
like I saw the silhouettes like way far away. I'm like, oh wait, that's not downtown.
Yeah.
So Winston on Mecha Base, I don't know if I like that 100%, but I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Now we'll
Kind of
see
got to
how
play
we'll
like
see
farther
how it
away.
works. See
Yeah.
how it works. Both teams just set up across the point, just trying to get some poke damage in, maybe looking for that early pick.
And they're just kind of like gauging who should they dive onto here.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Look, they're all just playing Ring Around the Rosie around the point. Look at this.
Yeah, they flip
Sojourn,
spawns. Ooh,
yes, getting the early pick on Kiri.
it's a big pick.
See if they can
Monkey got really low, had to get out.
Whitewater picking off May and Sojourn, both the Stevens Point DPSs here. Lucio
Yeah, with
falls as
that
well.
early pick,
Orisa falls.
with that early
Early
pick on the
team
Curie,
kill
the
for
fight's
early
pretty
team kill for
done.
Whitewater there. Oh,
Oh,
uh-oh.
got a DC on the side of
Lost.
Stevens Point.
Yeah.
So point's gonna go to Whitewater. Stevens Point actually did get a little 12% there. They got the sneaky little
Yeah.
control at the beginning. Curie going down. Fight's kind of fight's kind of over.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see uh what happens when they come back. The Winston comp, like I said, I was not expecting that on that map at least. Maybe the other two, but so far doing pretty well.
Looking to be pretty successful for them.
Don't know if that's a big enough sample size, just one fight, but
Maybe just
good
threw him off a little
rotations.
too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like, on a rush comp, like, the Orisa's playing, like, who do you walk on when you're on the Winston comp? Do you just try to blow up the Winston, which I guess is that's viable. They
Yeah.
have a May, I believe. They had May Sojourn.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
swapping over to
was
the Reaper.
yeah, that would
That would
probably
probably
be
do
that'd be my
yeah.
go-to counter pick right there.
Yeah, because Reaper into Winston is just very good, and it works well with the Orisa comp, especially if you're playing, like, this
Mhm.
rush style. Uh, I would I don't know, I'd maybe switch the May to the Reaper, but May Reaper is also a pretty good combo. Um, yeah, and I don't know, adaptations from Whitewater,
This player
I
DC here though is definitely giving all of them time to just kind of figure out
yeah.
what they
What
want to
they
go
wanna
for.
do, who they wanna dive, like, you kinda gotta focus down someone because I don't know, Monkey just diving into a Orisa is just kinda it's not gonna be enough, you guys gotta focus something
Yeah.
down. Well,
Yeah, get those supports out of the way before you really nuke the
yeah,
Orisa.
the Cure did get picked first, so maybe that'll be their goal, just go for the back line first, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Go for the Kiri, go for Lucio, maybe get an early pick, and then just snowball from there.
Mhm. Yeah, it's usually game over once those supports go down.
Yeah, um, with the DC, uh sometimes it affects the gameplay where they get sent to spawn, but, uh, I'm pretty sure they're already in spawn, so shouldn't affect this next fight. Maybe a little alt charge lost, but I I mean, it's never good to DC, but I guess it's a better time to DC
Yeah.
than
Yeah, right after a
like
fight rather during a fight.
yeah, during the fight and at the beginning of the round so you don't lose, like, all your alt charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do lose all your alt charge, but you don't lose, like, 90% on an alt
Yeah,
or,
you're
like, you lose an alt.
losing like 20 here, 20-30% rather than basically a whole alt.
Yeah.
Still trying to get the player back in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about both of these teams as long as we can, but, I think we might be going back in. Oh, nope, we're
It
gonna
looks
be
like we got
throwing
a
it to a break, actually.
yep. Yep,
So
so
we
we will
will
be right back
be
while we figure this
back.
out.
Peace.
Did someone put something in my drink? The world is spinning in my head. When you hold me, it feels so soothing. You're like a story I know so well. Can't help myself. You know you are. I need you close. Can't help myself. I need you. Try to stop the bell under your spell. Can't help myself. Can't help myself. Can't help myself. Can't help myself. Under your spell.
You started a fire somewhere deep in my mind. See the barbed wire, the place is grown all wide. 'Cause I don't know if it'll be enough or if they really care. There's a stairway down for the both of us.
All right. Looks like we got everything figured out here. Looks like we got our player back.
Yeah, and I guess we're
So,
gonna just be going back into this match any second now.
yep, any second now. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen again, but
Yeah, of course.
Can't really
I mean,
control it.
university internet, some people, are going to have issues. And here we go. The pause.
Yep.
Unpausing. We are back into the match. As Steven Point
Indeed.
immediately going to a full swap to the monkey comp. They're just going to mirror this monkey comp, it looks like.
Oh wow, yeah.
Almost
But
a full
omitting
mirror.
omitting the Kiri here, and instead
Mhm.
going for the Moira. Big stick on the monkey there.
I think it was on the Moira and they just faded away, so I
Oh,
don't think any damage was done there.
Whitewater coming up on 4 ults here soon. Sitting on Primal, almost have overclock. Primal coming out right away. Fighting Sojourn. Almost finding Lucio as well.
Yeah, great primal there. They had the ultimate advantage because Steven's Point obviously just switched completely their comp, so
Yeah.
Whitewater had the ults first.
Whitewater still sitting on overclock here. Almost coming up to beat as well.
Ooh, late pick on their Moira.
Steven's Point a little more well-rounded when it comes to the ults. Rather close to 4 of their 5 ults here.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get these fast before Whitewater can act on their ultimates, especially the Sojourn ult.
Indeed. Yeah. If that
Suzu comes out early.
Coalescence coming out for Steven's Point here. Beat coming out for Whitewater. Whitewater finding the
going
pick
down,
on
though.
Sojourn. Sojourn popping overclock, finding Lucio.
Just picks back and forth. Moira down for Steven's Point is a big one. Primal has to be
Whitewater.
popped. Contest this point, which is at 99.
Stevens Point popping their overclock as well, trying to find some sort of picks, just but that bubble just in the way,
Ooh.
getting stuck by the pulse bomb here.
Big
Whitewater's
plays by
Tracer
the
finding
Tracer.
3. Finding 3 to
cleaning
wrap
up.
up this round.
Yeah, and a really good performance by Whitewater. I'm wondering if they're just not prepared for the monkey comp, because just coming out on that, Whitewater had the advantage. They started on the comp first. They got ultimates faster. They obviously had the game plan going in with the monkey, while Stevens
Yeah.
Point had the game plan of the Orisa. And now we're downtown, where it's even a better dive map than before.
Oh yeah. Moira playing some video games before the actual match starts.
Stevens Point does pull out the Reaper, which I think is a good pick here. Ooh, and fully
With the Diva
swapping
swap
to the
as well.
counter. I'm interested to see how this plays out. Minute 6 is going to have to play much more careful. Can't just get melted completely.
Oh yeah. Stevens Point looking to get early control on point here.
Yeah, as they're posturing towards the point, and Whitewater has the high ground. So looks like they're rotating up to the high ground, meeting them up there. However, Diva gets really low.
Whitewater knocking Diva out
It's
of mech here.
And with
Really good
that,
disruptor orb by Whitewater here.
2 boops from the Lucio, getting both the monkey
Wow.
and the Sojourn. However, I don't think that's going to be enough.
Pretty
Lucio
close.
just... Nah, he's
Whitewater.
kind of just staggering at that point, but
Yeah, Whitewater maintaining control.
valiant
point here.
effort from the Lucio player. He did get 70 to beat versus the 36 to beat on Whitewater.
Mm-hmm. Tracer looking to be a thorn in Steven Point's side here. Perhaps get a cheeky pulse bomb kill here. Whitewater also coming up on overclock. Stevens Point close to beat, close to coalescence.
Pulse bomb goes in, does not find anybody. Ultimate's coming on the side of Stevens Point. They opt to use it right away.
There goes coalescence.
And Cole ooh, might get the Lucio with it. Lucio very low. Does not go down. Instead, the Tracer gets a pick again.
Primal
on 2
comes out on Whitewater here. Stevens
A lot of
Point
ults
having
being
bomb.
committed.
There goes Beat on Whitewater as well. Gate as well.
Yeah, a lot of ults on the side of, well, actually on the side of both teams. I think it was,
Yeah.
well, 3
I think
ultimates on
3
the side
ults
of Whitewater.
apiece.
Actually, I think it was only one on. Was it only one on the side of Stevens Point, or did they just build those ultimates
It was Coalescence.
very quickly?
Definitely Coalescence, I know that.
Yeah, 3 on the side of Whitewater though. Stevens Point looking to take the point. 2 ults apiece coming into this.
Beat,
They engage
beat
with
to
Beat.
push on to point here.
Another pulse in
Pulse
there
one
does
goes
not
out.
connect.
Whitewater only having overclock to hold this point here. Sojourn popping it, looking to see if they can maybe DMAC Diva here.
Yes, they do.
Gets the DMAC, but bombs.
Bomb pushes them out. They do get a pick on the Lucio before they can.
Stevens Point up on ults right now.
Yeah, they are, but like I think there's a numbers advantage here on UW-WHITEWATER just a little bit. Diva is out of mech. As minute 6 does go down. Sojourn finding 2 big picks though. And yeah, with that, I think Whitewater is going to flip the point, and that probably will be point. I think we will have a touch here. Yes, by Reaper. We do have a
Reaper
touch.
finds
He
the
does
touch
have
here.
ultimate if they're not careful. Boop it away though.
He uses it and then immediately dies.
Yeah, he got
Big
booped away
DMAC from
and
the pulse bomb by Whitewater here.
for there, and with that, I believe Whitewater is going to be taking this point. Not exactly yet, but just some
The
staggers.
trickle on touches here.
Yeah, trickle on. Moira gets another touch, and
No
maybe
more
Reaper gets a
touches.
touch. Nope.
Nope. And that's map going to UW-WHITEWATER here.
Yeah, and the adaptation did not work the way that Stevens Point wanted. I thought the Reaper pick and the Diva pick was a very smart decision, but Whitewater just getting these picks on DPS, both Sojourn and Tracer getting a lot of value.
Yep.
Just taking these off angles and harassing the back line.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was that monkey comp was just a little too strong for Stevens Point there for that on that map. Not really expecting it and just finding themselves on their back foot.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see where Stevens Point takes them to the next map, because we're looking at Escort. I wouldn't think they'd take them to Gibraltar, just because that's a very dive-heavy map, and Whitewater's looking pretty healthy on dive.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Circuit, maybe
I could see a
like a
Circuit or
Rialto,
Rialto.
or yeah, Rialto has been a very popular pick as of recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if Rialto was a pick. I think Circuit is also a decent pick, depending on how comfortable they are on the Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen a lot of Sigma gameplay this tournament.
That surprises
I don't
me.
know.
Sigma has slept on, in my opinion.
I don't know if we seen any Sigma gameplay on this tournament. Maybe like, I mean, at least in the playoffs, maybe like once or twice, but not a lot of Sigma gameplay. I thought Circuit would be picked more than it was, but it kind of makes sense now that I think about it, considering how everyone's like running Orisa or Monkey or something like that. So, as they pick Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Very surprising here. Maybe they have plans to go to do a even stronger dive of their own here.
Yeah, I mean, I said this in the before we started, but Watchpoint Gibraltar, very healthy dive map, considering they just did not win they lost the dive mirror. I'm interested to see what they have planned here. Maybe they have some secret strats on this map. Maybe they just practice this map a lot. Comfort pick, maybe.
Could be. I'm personally expecting to see a Winston mirror here. Winston just probably one of the strongest tanks that isn't the self-sustaining tanks.
Yeah, or maybe a Diva. Maybe a Diva coming out again for Stevens Point. I would expect one of those two. Maybe something special on defense. I don't know. Sometimes people like to hold with a Sigma or Orisa just like at the corner
Yeah.
under after the first choke.
Mm-hmm.
Second point, or maybe third point, I guess. Third point, sometimes they also like to, play that like kind of pokey tank, like maybe a Orisa or a Sigma, but second point, definitely dive. That's a very
for
dive
sure.
heavy point.
Yeah. Lots of
First
verticality
point,
in second
not a
point.
dive too, but it's still viable in my opinion. You could still play
Mhm.
like an Orisa or a Sigma or something like that. But yeah, I guess we'll
Yep.
see what they roll out on. See who's on attack and who's on defense first. Of course, Whitewater gets to choose what side they are on after Stephen Point gets to pick the map. As I think we are going into the game.
Yeah.
I can hear the
a
music
little
in
bit
the
of
background.
games.
I hear a little music.
The music in Overwatch is honestly
There
slept
we
on a
go.
bit.
Oh yeah, the score in Overwatch, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of my favorite gaming scores. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
They have a really good score. I think my favorite is like Midtown. Midtown's soundtrack goes hard. If you've never listened to Midtown, like look it up. I don't even play with music, but that I know is like one of the best.
I'll have to look it up. It's like we have the Diva mirror here.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Whitewater
Whitewater's starting on
attacking
attack.
first. Yeah. And looks like there hasn't really been any. I don't think there's been any subs in or any changes. Both
Doesn't
teams
look like
running
it.
with the same lineup.
The Ana Brig combo is a bit interesting to me. I don't see that very often.
Yeah, it's still a pretty strong dive support combo. It's better on defense than attack, so it makes sense that they're playing it now. I don't like it that much. Defense, it's pretty good.
Ooh,
So
Echo
do a
getting
poke at the
dove
side.
on by Tracer and Diva here a little bit.
Committing the nade to keep the Echo alive.
Both teams just kind of poking at each other, trying to get the first pick in so they can make a bigger move. Big ante on Whitewater Sojourn here.
Anti and a bunch of stickies landing on the Sojourn, picking him right away. And with that, I think they're just gonna
Tracer falls as well.
Yeah, they're doing a reset on the side of Whitewater. The tank backed out, and so did both the supports. Just getting a little staggered. And with that, Stevens Point looks like they're gonna be holding under the bridge. That's kind of where the most common spot is, just right here. Got a couple people playing server room, full supports, along with their soldier. Which it looks like they're trying
Looks like Stevens
to
Point gonna push
capitalize
through
on.
server room here.
Ooh, good job by the Brig protecting their Ana. They both were super low.
Ooh, big pick on Whitewater Sojourn again.
Yeah, and I guess Stevens Point did have a plan, as the first two fights going very well.
Yeah.
They're playing the map very well.
Anyone turn this corner.
Just playing the server room, waiting for them to dive on them, and then just collapse. Then the rest of the team collapsing on them has been working very well. Brigana very good in protecting against a Tracer.
Yeah. The combination of that
hard to go
shield
on
bash
them.
and sleep.
Yeah,
Whitewater
made to keep them up.
coming up on Pulse Bomb, having Diva Bomb and Gate. Stevens Point almost having all 5 ults.
Yeah, this time it looks like they're trying to pressure out the high ground, as Kiri is copied by the Echo. So that I think is that's an interesting. I don't know if that's what they were
Maybe
aiming for.
perhaps an
That's a little
accidental.
interesting copy. Double
Yeah.
Suzu doesn't hurt anybody. As they're rushing into server room now. Also throwing the bomb in. Minute 6 gets demaxed. They're in baby right now. They do get beat though. So they are not out of the fight yet.
Stevens Point using Nano on Diva there.
Yeah, it goes really low. I don't know how much value they could get out of it because of how low they still were. A lot of ults committed from both sides and no real picks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Stevens Point has to touch unless they. Yep.
They got a touchdown.
Otherwise, there was
The
that
brig
back
is down
cap.
though.
There was that back cap.
Yeah, both supports gets picked.
Soldier bringing out visor, but just getting overwhelmed.
It does look like first point will be taken by Whitewater. It was a really long fight, maybe a little bit messy, so it was hard to get a regroup and recontrol of that server room, and in the end they got a pick on the brig, and then after the brig's dead, Ana's just very easy to dive. Both supports down. They're also pressuring the card at the same time, so
Yeah. Whitewater looking a little bit better on ults here. Just use pulse, but getting close to gate and diva bomb. And while Stevens Point only really close to dupe here.
Here you're getting some shots in there, and it actually headshots the Ana, which makes her low enough to die to the soldier and E.
Disruptor orb.
Disruptor orb. And with that, that's a fast take by Whitewater. They just get point 2 in one fight. Oh, but they are recontesting on the side of
Gate
Stevens
comes out.
Point.
Brig dies. Soldier dies. Diva out of mech. Just gets absolutely exploded.
You know, that's not that bad. Stevens Point ran in there for that last second contest, and they did get the rush out of it. It's better than just backing up and getting nothing out of it, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, you got a point there.
However, they do have 3 minutes now on third point compared to the 60 seconds that they had left on the first point. Or like 50 seconds.
Stevens Point looking for a cheeky little clone here. Whitewater sitting on 3 ults, almost coming up to overclock as well. Stevens Point only having 4 ults here. Both sides has 4 ults. We'll see what they can do with these. Diva bomb going out. Not really finding anyone.
Going in the back line for a flank copy, but it doesn't look like it gets anything. Doesn't really work out.
The Diva again.
The Diva. This point is getting very close.
Beat coming out on Whitewater. Rally coming out by Stevens Point as well.
Just kind of contest this. Diva is still up.
Trying to kill that brig, and then final point is theirs.
There's still a full HP Diva on this point, so they really have to melt this Diva down. Which it looks like they will do. Visor out on the side of Stevens Point. Gets the Lucio,
finds
but
Lucio.
I do not think that's enough. It's not, and Whitewater taking point 2 and 3 in one fight after struggling with point A.
Very, very impressive showing by Whitewater here.
Yeah, they really adapted to it. They did a little bit of a snowball. They had a little bit of an ult advantage, and with that, they just kind of rolled through the rest of the point. Stevens Point, I think they played really well on the first point. That one fight, I think it just lasted a little too long, and they kind of just got a little bit disorganized, and with that, Whitewater just pounced on the opportunity, and they couldn't get their footing ever since that fight.
Yeah, well, Whitewater pulling out the hog choice. Oh, teasing us with the hog, switching to Diva.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there was a hog, but I mean, into a Winston hog, not the worst tank.
Yeah.
Hog is I wouldn't say
Hog is pretty decent right now.
He's viable in like competitive. I don't know about
fair.
I don't know about like in organized match play, but in competitive, Hog is pretty decent. I think it's like the opposite for Ball. Ball is pretty good in like organized play, but in competitive, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
trust my teammates enough.
I'm just not good enough at ball.
Fair enough. As
Winston
Stevens
getting
Point coming
below
on to
half health
Winston.
almost immediately out of spawn.
They no longer want to take the Diva duel. I'm wondering if they're gonna stick on this. They're still sticking on to the Brigana on attack.
Yeah, Whitewater going a little more pokey with this defense here, running the
Wow,
Ash.
Winston just getting melted. It's without a Suzu, it's really hard to keep that Winston up, especially with only kind of an Ana for healing.
Yeah.
When you're playing Lucio Kiri, like you could put your Lucio on the Winston, and then of course you have the Kiri healing plus the Suzu. But like, I don't know. You don't really like pack your tank that much, or I mean, as you can see, as he gets picked
Yeah,
again,
Winston's
and then
just
Ana heals just
going
not
in
fast
to
enough.
explode.
Yeah, it's really
not really
tough
having
for
a-
Winston in this comp.
Not really having a chance to build ult, just falling behind the rest of his team in ult charge. Whitewater getting pretty close to Diva Bomb here. Almost has Bob, almost has Gate as well.
As I'm interested to see what they're trying to do, as Whitewater just goes full aggressive in there, and the monkey jumps out, and they just leave their supports, and Squishy's just hanging there, and with that, fight's over already.
Stevens Point only really having Nano coming close to a pulse bomb. Whitewater sitting on 3, ults almost getting beat here soon.
Tracer is contesting the point, does push it to the point where Stevens Point can take the high ground, at least some of it. And with that, Monkey does get a pick on the Ash. So, good job by the Tracer to push up the point.
Gate coming out by
Enough for
Whitewater here.
rotation. Whitewater not wanting to give any, and they already did. Outbreak setting up in the control room once again, just like we saw in defense. Copy gonna push
Bomb
3
pushing.
of. Ooh. Pushing 3 off and catching out their Diva, which was out of mech.
Stevens Point nanoing Monkey here.
Nanoing Monkey, but they responded
Primal
to B.
coming out.
Primal with the Nano. Almost getting
one
the Sojourn.
scary combo.
They did get the Sojourn.
Looks like Stevens
And
Point. It's gonna be
Stevens
close.
Point might be getting this point. It's close. I think it's only a Diva left on point. Diva does not have bomb. I think Steven Point will be getting this first point.
Yeah, it's first point belongs to Stevens Point here.
Exactly the same amount of time allotted from both teams. 50 seconds left.
Indeed. Whitewater looking a little worse on ults than Stevens Point is at the moment. Just trying to contest high ground here. See if anyone can get the first pick.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get up here, especially with the Ash who could just kind of boop you down with their shifts. Oh, it looks like Whitewater's going to be taking the aggression, though, right onto their supports, and they get 2 right away. Break pops ult there, but is not a
Both
save.
supports and Echo are down. Tracer falls as well, and now it's just Winston just in their backline.
Winston does get 2, but yeah, he's just going to be resetting
Yeah.
out into the ocean.
The monkey
You gotta
taking
see
a swim.
Monkey.
The sea monkey.
Yeah.
Whitewater getting
As
close to
Whitewater's-
gate and bomb.
Yeah, Whitewater's playing this well. They're taking the aggression to them instead of waiting for Stevens Point to kind of set up a dive, which they're kind of struggling with. They do copy Diva, so they do get the high ground with the 2 tanks up on the high ground.
Getting demacked right away.
Team Max, of course, it's just a copy, so. You're looking for that pulse bomb.
Overclock and gate
Oh.
coming out.
Very aggressive onto the sports again. It's 2-for-1 trade on the side of Whitewater. Now it's a 2-for-2 trade as minute 6 actually gets picked by the Winston. And the Winston does get one more in. I think with the Primal, they might Primal the rest of Whitewater off. No, the Suzu, he's trying his best to get them all off. The respawn for Whitewater is already back.
Whitewater just getting
three
cleaned up by
picks.
Stevens Point here.
They do throw Bob in there. Bob is not on point, but is contesting by shooting at the players. And, oh. The spawns might just be too much for Whitewater, or for Stevens Point.
Stevens Point just not really able to
like
find
it
footing in
is.
the last couple of meters.
With Honor Brig, like, having to sit on the high ground to be away from the team, it's hard for them to, like, get value into picking off the rest of the team, while the Kyria and Lucio
Yeah.
can put damage on their tank and DPS on the point. So, with the respawn's advantage, Whitewater takes a fight, and this is the last fight. Got 10 seconds left.
Whitewater finding
big pick.
Echo. They have the touch, so this is going to go into overtime here.
Beat going off. Lucio was really low.
Rally went off
She's
on
gonna have
Stevens
pulse.
Point as well.
There's the pulse in there, does not get anybody. And the Brig goes down.
Gate coming up by Whitewater.
Oh, Copy gets out. Another pick. It's going back and forth, but it looks like
Overclock just cleaning up here.
yeah, clean up by Whitewater. They have the respawn advantage. So hard that you have to get a complete team wipe to take that point. It's very hard for UW Stephen Point, and with that, UW Whitewater is up 2-0.
2-0 going into Flashpoint.
Yeah,
Also known
2-0
as
going to Flashpoint.
Suravasa.
I'm curious to see what we're gonna be seeing here. Curious to see what we're gonna be seeing here because I mean, are we gonna see the Winston comp still on Suravasa? I mean, on Flashpoint or New Junk? I find it hard to believe, but like
It's been working for them though.
it's working. But
Rolled out.
I mean,
they rolled out the Winston comp on Mecha Base Busan, so it's been working.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I see it again. I thought we'd be seeing more Orisa gameplay here, but Whitewater very confident in their Winston play, and it's been working out.
Yeah. What Flashpoint map are we expecting? The fan favorite Suravasa? Or do you think we'll get served a curveball here?
I'm thinking Suravasa. Nope.
New Junk City. Wow.
Sorry, I'm losing my voice, but we're going to New Junk City, which, you know, maybe that makes more sense because I think Suravasa kind of like leaves more room for the Winston. New Junk City maybe a little more compact. So if they want to force a Orisa on this map, or force a Winston, that is, it'll be much harder.
It would. This is definitely going to be... I can definitely see both teams pivoting over to a brawl comp here.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the close quarters, combined with how spread out all of the other points are.
Yeah, and I think Whitewater definitely has the upper hand on at least the dive comp, so I'm interested to see if Stevens Point can, you know, maybe bring it back a little bit with these rush comps.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch for sure. Whitewater coming in to map 3 with definite momentum, but Stevens Point
momentum
might
is on their
just
side.
might
We
just be
did
able
see
to
a
stop it.
we just saw a reverse sweep last last match was a reverse sweep, so like maybe we could see it again.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
as you can hear the music in the background, looks like we're just going right into it, right into map 3.